Anna Mitchell had spent 3 years trapped in a cycle of hope and heartbreak. Every month, she'd wake up with a fragile optimism, clutching a pregnancy test like a lifeline, only to be met with the crushing reality of a single line. The endless waiting, the silent tears shed in the bathroom, the whispered prayers that felt as fragile as spiderwebs in the wind. It all seemed unbearable, but still, she never gave up. On this particular morning, the world felt different. The soft October sunlight filtered gently through the bathroom window, casting a warm glow on the small space. Anna's hands trembled as she held the test, her breath catching in her throat. The house was quiet, except for the distant hum of early morning life outside. And then she saw it. 2 unmistakable pink lines glowing softly on the plastic stick. Her heart surged, a mix of disbelief and overwhelming joy flooding through her veins. For the first time in years, hope was no longer a distant dream, but a living, breathing reality. Tears began to well in her eyes. They blurred her vision, but she didn't wipe them away. Instead, she held the test close to her chest, feeling the weight of the moment sink in. It wasn't just a test result, it was a promise, a new beginning. In that quiet, golden-lit bathroom, Anna's life shifted on its axis. She was no longer just a woman waiting. She was a mother-to-be, carrying a secret miracle inside her. The dreams she had whispered to herself in the darkest nights suddenly had a shape, a heartbeat. She imagined the future, soft blankets, tiny clothes, lullabies sung under the glow of a nightlight. The anticipation filled her with warmth and a fierce protectiveness she hadn't known she possessed. All the pain, all the disappointment of the past 3 years seemed to fade, replaced by a fragile but unbreakable hope. This was her moment, the moment when everything could change. Anna poured every ounce of her love and hope into preparing her mother-in-law's 60th birthday party. The house was transformed, every detail meticulously planned and carefully executed. Soft music played in the background, the dining table gleamed under flickering candlelight, and fragrant flowers filled the rooms with warmth. She believed tonight was more than just a celebration. It was a chance to weave the fragile threads of her marriage back together, to prove to Ethan and everyone around that their family was strong and united. Anna imagined how Ethan would hold her hands, eyes bright with excitement, sharing whispers about baby names and nursery colors. The laughter and chatter of the arriving guests filled the air, but Anna moved through the crowd like a dancer on stage, smiling, hosting, hiding the nerves knotting in her stomach. She smiled for Eleanor, her mother-in-law, hoping to win her approval. She smiled for friends and neighbors, all watching, judging, expecting perfection. But beneath the glow of the party lights, Anna's heart beat with a mix of anticipation and unease. She kept her secret close, a small hope shining fiercely in the midst of the celebration. Tonight, she told herself, everything would change. Amid the clinking glasses and soft laughter, Anna moved gracefully from guest to guest, carrying plates of dessert and engaging in polite small talk. Her smile was steady, but inside, a flutter of nerves danced through her chest. Then came the question she didn't expect, simple, casual, but heavy with unintended weight. Eleanor, her mother-in-law, paused and asked, "Where's Ethan?" The room seemed to hush for a heartbeat. Anna's hand froze mid-air, a plate nearly slipping from her grasp. The words echoed in her mind like a warning bell. Where was he? No one else seemed to notice the sudden tension. The music continued, the chatter resumed, but for Anna, time slowed. Her breath hitched as she scanned the room. Ethan was nowhere to be seen. With a steadying breath, Anna excused herself quietly and made her way down the hallway toward Ethan's office. Her heartbeat quickened. This question was a crack in the perfect mask she had worn all evening, a crack that threatened to shatter everything. Anna's footsteps slowed as she neared Ethan's office. The door was slightly ajar, a warm glow spilling into the hallway. Her heart pounded so loudly it drowned out everything else. Then she heard it. A voice not meant for her ears. Ethan's low, intimate whisper floated through the crack. "She still thinks we're having a baby. Poor thing." The words cut through Anna like knives. Her breath caught. She pressed her hand to the wall for support. The pregnancy test in her pocket suddenly unbearably heavy. "He's planning to leave," her mind screamed, but her body remained frozen in disbelief. The man she loved, the man she had dreamed with, was plotting a future without her while she carried his child. Tears burned behind her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. She took a trembling step back, fighting the urge to scream, to run, to shatter everything. Her world tilted. The perfect life she had believed in shattered in a single whispered sentence. Despite the storm raging inside her, Anna forced herself back into the party. The laughter and music seemed distant, muffled by the overwhelming weight pressing on her chest. She moved through the crowd with practiced ease, carrying plates of cake, refilling glasses, exchanging pleasantries. Her smile was flawless, warm, and inviting, the kind that made everyone believe everything was perfect. But behind that mask, her world was unraveling thread by thread. Every step felt heavy, every breath a battle. She caught Eleanor's approving glance and returned a smile sharper than any knife. The whispers around her about her perfect hosting only deepened the ache she hid so well. Anna's hands trembled as she poured wine, her eyes flickering to the empty spot where Ethan should be. She thought about the secret she carried, the life growing inside her, and the betrayal that now stained every hope she had. She swallowed hard, forcing down the rising tide of tears. Tonight, she was the perfect wife, the gracious hostess, the woman everyone expected her to be. But inside, she was breaking. That night, after the guests had left and the house finally fell silent, Anna lay awake beside Ethan. The steady rhythm of his breathing felt foreign to her now, a haunting reminder of all the moments she had once trusted him completely. Her mind replayed every excuse she had clung to, the late nights at work, the distant phone calls, the unexplained absences. She remembered how she convinced herself that stress was the cause, that love was still there beneath the surface, but now in the darkness, those justifications felt hollow and fragile. Tears streamed silently down her cheeks as she stared at the ceiling, feeling the weight of betrayal settle deep inside her chest. She mourned the future she had imagined, the laughter, the baby's first steps, the quiet mornings filled with promise, yet no sobs escaped her lips. Instead, she held her pain close, the silent tears tracing the path of a shattered heart. Tomorrow, she told herself, she would be strong, but tonight she allowed herself to grieve in silence. The morning sun crept into the bedroom, but Anna felt no warmth. With Ethan out for his usual run, she stood alone in the quiet house, her heart pounding with dread. She stared at his phone on the nightstand, her fingers trembling as she reached for it. The passcode was easy, their wedding anniversary. Somehow, that irony stung more than anything. Within seconds, Anna found what she dreaded most: a string of love messages, intimate photos, and plans for a life that never included her. She scrolled through photos of Ethan and another woman smiling together at expensive restaurants, their hands intertwined. She read his words, "I can't wait to finally start our real life together," and "She won't see it coming." Anna's breath caught in her throat. Every message was a nail in the coffin of her marriage. The pain was no longer just suspicion, it was fact. The betrayal, undeniable. In that moment, Anna realized her old life was truly over. Tears filled her eyes, but she refused to look away. She needed to know the whole truth, no matter how much it hurt. Anna's hands trembled as she put Ethan's phone down. Her chest felt tight, every breath shallow. The truth was too much to bear. Alone in the bathroom, Anna slid to the cold tile floor, hugging her knees as sobs finally broke free. The weight of every lie, every memory, and every broken promise crashed down on her at once. She tried to hold herself together, but the pain was too sharp, too raw. For a long moment, she let herself fall apart, her silent tears mixing with the storm raging inside her heart. When her sobs faded, only exhaustion remained. Anna knew she couldn't carry this pain alone. With trembling fingers, she messaged Rachel, her oldest and most loyal friend. "Can we meet? I need you." A short time later, they sat together in the corner of a quiet cafe. Anna struggled to find words, her voice shaking as she confessed everything: the betrayal, the messages, the photos, and the fact that she was carrying Ethan's child. Rachel listened, anger and heartbreak filling her eyes. She didn't interrupt, only reached out and squeezed Anna's hand, letting her know she wasn't alone. In Rachel's silent support, Anna felt a flicker of strength. The storm hadn't passed, but for the first time, she knew she had someone by her side. Anna moved through her kitchen with quiet determination. This time, she wasn't preparing dinner for romance or celebration. She was setting the stage for truth. Every action was deliberate. The steak searing perfectly in the pan, potatoes whipped smooth and creamy, a fresh green salad dressed just the way Ethan liked. Candles flickered on the table. The good dishes and silverware came out. Every glass gleamed. From the outside, the scene looked like a perfect, intimate dinner for two. But inside, Anna's heart was splintering. She chose her dress carefully. The one Ethan once said made her look beautiful, even though those words now felt empty. She brushed her hair, dabbed perfume at her wrists, rehearsing her calm face in the mirror. It wasn't armor, it was survival. Every detail had a purpose. Anna wanted no distractions, no excuses. Tonight, the truth would finally be spoken, and nothing could soften the blow. As she set the last fork on the table, Anna paused and let her hands rest. She looked around the room she once filled with hope. Her whole body ached with grief, but her spirit was steady. This dinner wasn't about saving her marriage. It was about saving herself. The battle for her future was about to begin. Ethan walked into the dining room, surprised by the candlelight and the care Anna had put into every detail. "This looks amazing," he said with a smile, trying to slip back into the role of a loving husband. But Anna saw right through him. Dinner was quiet. Anna barely spoke, letting Ethan talk about work, his day, anything but the truth that filled the room. When plates were cleared and the last candle burned low, Anna took a steady breath. She sat across from Ethan, her eyes unwavering. "We need to talk," she said, her voice calm but cold. Ethan's smile faded. "About what?" Anna's words cut like a blade. "I know everything. The messages, the photos, Madison. I heard your call during the party." Ethan's face drained of color. He tried to speak, but Anna raised a hand, stopping him. "Don't lie. Not anymore." For a moment, the silence was suffocating. "There's more," Anna continued, her voice trembling but strong. "I'm pregnant." Ethan stared, shocked, at a loss for words. "I'm keeping the baby," Anna declared, her voice steady. "And tomorrow I'm filing for divorce. You made your choice, Ethan. Now I'm making mine." All the power that had once belonged to Ethan was gone. He sat speechless, the weight of his own decisions crashing down. In that moment, Anna felt a strange, fierce strength rise inside her. For the first time, she wasn't the victim, she was in control. That night, Ethan packed a small bag and left. There were no dramatic goodbyes, no shouting, just the soft click of the door closing and the echo of a life ending. Anna stood in the hallway, surrounded by the silence he left behind her, her hands shaking but her eyes dry. In the days that followed, Anna moved through her world like a ghost, haunting her own home. She made appointments with lawyers, sitting across heavy desks while legal terms blurred with grief. She visited her doctor, confirming the life growing inside her, holding on to that one fragile thread of hope. Each phone call to family was a trial. Her mother cried, her father's voice trembled with anger and love. Friends offered comfort, but nothing could soften the pain of standing alone. Bills still had to be paid, meals still had to be cooked. Anna faced each day with quiet courage every morning, forcing herself out of bed every night, lying awake in a house that suddenly felt too large. The world had not stopped for her heartbreak. Every day was a test of her strength, her resilience, her will to keep moving forward. There were tears, there was doubt, but above all, there was determination. Anna was alone, but for the first time, she realized she was also free. Day by day, Anna began to reclaim her life, not all at once, but in small, determined steps. With Rachel by her side and her family quietly cheering her on, Anna found the strength to start over. She packed away Ethan's things, each item a memory she was ready to release. His old college sweatshirt, the cologne bottle, the framed photo from a happier time. Sometimes the process brought tears. Other times it brought a sense of relief, as if every box she taped shut made space for something new inside her heart. Anna started a journal, pouring out her anger, her fears, her dreams for her baby. The pages became a private sanctuary, a safe place to let her pain and hope coexist. Her parents called often, sometimes just to listen, other times to remind her of the courage she'd always had. Rachel dropped by with food and gentle jokes, never letting Anna feel truly alone. With every act of letting go, Anna found a little more of herself. She began to believe that she could be strong, not just for her child, but for herself. Small routines, morning tea, walks in the park, playing her favorite songs became acts of self-healing. Anna wasn't healed yet, but she was no longer broken. For the first time in a long while, she looked in the mirror and saw not just pain, but possibility. Months passed. At last the moment arrived. Anna held her newborn daughter in her arms for the very first time. She named her Clara Grace. Clara for clarity and new beginnings, Grace for the kindness Anna learned to give herself. As she looked down at her tiny daughter, Anna felt a surge of emotions she had never known. The pain, the betrayal, all the sleepless nights and silent tears, they suddenly crystallized into something powerful, a fierce, unbreakable love. Anna pressed Clara close, whispering promises into her soft hair. "You are loved. You are wanted. I will always choose you." In that quiet hospital room, Anna discovered a strength deeper than any she had ever imagined. She was not just surviving anymore. She was a mother. For Clara, she would be brave. For herself, she would be whole. In her daughter's first cry, Anna heard her own rebirth. All the darkness of the past became distant, and the love in Anna's arms lit up a new world, one where nothing and no one could ever break her again. Motherhood brought Anna a new kind of peace, a quiet, steady sense of purpose that filled the empty spaces in her heart. As the months went by, she learned to care for Clara and for herself. Each sleepless night, each giggle, each milestone reminded Anna that she was building a life defined not by what she had lost, but by what she had found. Anna began to write again, not just in her journal, but stories and essays about heartbreak, healing, and hope. She shared her story in small online groups, then in larger communities. Her words resonated with women everywhere, women who had loved and lost, who had been betrayed, who had picked up the pieces and started again. She received letters and messages from strangers thanking her for her honesty and courage. Anna realized that her pain was not just a wound, it was a bridge. By sharing her journey, she helped others find the strength to share theirs. Slowly, the ending of her marriage became something else, not a tragedy, but a turning point. Anna understood now that some doors must close so that others can open. In the quiet of her new life, she found something better than happiness. She found meaning. Looking at Clara, Anna whispered, "You saved me. Because of you, I finally found myself." And in that truth, Anna was finally free. Anna stood at the window one morning, sunlight streaming across her daughter's sleeping face. She took a deep breath and realized she had finally learned to live without fear or apology. She chose honesty over illusion, courage over comfort. No longer hiding from her pain, Anna faced life with an open heart. She laughed loudly, loved fiercely, and told her story without shame. Anna understood now that it was okay to be shattered. Sometimes it's in the breaking that we are set free. Sometimes only from the ashes can a soul rise stronger, braver, and truer than ever before. She promised herself to never settle for less than real joy, real love, real peace. And she promised Clara that they would always live with truth and dignity no matter what life brought. Looking back, Anna saw not just loss, but transformation. She had become her own rescue, her own light. To anyone listening, Anna's message is clear. Your soul is not lost in suffering. It is forged in it. Don't be afraid to begin again. Sometimes being broken is the very thing that makes you whole. Life isn't about never breaking. It's about having the courage to rebuild when everything falls apart. Sometimes the people we trust most let us down, but that doesn't define our worth or our future. True strength is not in pretending to be unbreakable, but in daring to stand up, heal, and write a new chapter no matter how shattered we feel. Cherish your own resilience. Allow yourself to grieve, to grow, and to rise again because your story isn't over at the moment of heartbreak. In fact, that's often where real life truly begins. If this story touched your heart, you're not alone. On Pieces of Soul, we believe in rising stronger, loving deeper, and living honestly, no matter what life throws at us. Subscribe now and join our community. Together, let's find hope, healing, and the courage to turn every ending into a new beginning. Don't just watch, be a part of Stories That Heal.